Good morning, Washington! And all the ships at sea. How you doing, everybody? It's the 27th of November, 2011. A beautiful sunny Sunday here in the Washington area. And imagine, it's like 9:15 in the morning on a Sunday, you know, and I just step out of the shower. I'm completely naked, and the doorbell rings. I'm like, who's here at 9:15 on a Sunday? And so I put on my camo pants, just rushed to put on my camo pants. At least I wanted to have something on. I can't go to the door naked. And there's a guy there, one of my good friends, who's a longtime supporter and email bagger and everybody here on DCRTV. And he has, here, this is for you. Well, this was apparently put up on one of the roadsides here in Northern Virginia back in a couple weeks ago during the elections, the state elections, and he oh, thank you. It's big. It's big. What am I going to do with it? So it's cool. I like it. I'll stick it over in the DCRTV memory archive altar over there. But this is a roadside, I guess, put up with all the right-wing candidates who are running. So anyhow, that's my big surprise. That's one of the reasons I love doing this website. You know, people bang on my door at early morning hours on a Sunday with memorabilia to share. So wonderful. Okay, folks. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. I sure did. Hung out with my my nephew and niece down there in Manassas. I didn't see Mike O'Mara though. You know, I was driving all over Manassas. I didn't see him anywhere, so I don't know. But anyhow, had a real nice time down there, and good time with my grandnieces and nephews running around, jumping. Interesting, my nephew, Tom, he has cut the cable. You know, they just were tired of paying all that money to Comcast. Well, the nice thing about where they live, they're on an apartment, which is actually on the 4th floor of a building, okay? And the building kind of looks to the southeast, okay? You know, there's a big hill in the back of the building, so while you have to walk up 3 flights to get to his place, it's really on the 4th floor considering the basement down there. So they're up really high. And so what he did was took a little antenna and just stuck it out on his balcony and plugged it into his television set, his digital TV, and he gets amazingly good reception there. You know, all the local Washington stations, the megahertz channels, all that, you know, from Manassas. But the thing is, he's up pretty high. He's on a hill that's on in a 4th floor of a building that just happens to be looking to the south and east toward the Washington area, and it's amazing how you know. He can pull in all the, I mean, we checked in all the Washington stations he can get, and, you know, nice, good signals on them. Now, if somebody goes out on the balcony to smoke a cigarette or something, the picture kind of locks up a little bit, but I'm surprised. You know, here in Reston, which is considerably closer to Washington, I'm not quite as high. I'm only on the 2nd floor, and there's a lot of other buildings around, and I don't have a lot of eastern exposure. On one wall I do, and, you know, and I don't have room for an outdoor antenna. And I can get okay reception of Washington stations from like the room over there that's got an eastern window. But it's amazing, isn't it, how just the digital over the air is just not the same as the old days of analog. All right, folks. Anyhow, since it's a Sunday and I like to do the weekend shows and kind of focus a little more on memorabilia and nostalgia stuff, I was going through the big DCRTV stack of stuff. Well, actually, yesterday, I took a long walk yesterday, and I walked up around Lake Ann here in Reston, and they have a really cool store up there. One of the stores at Lake Ann that I love a lot is the used bookshop, and they always have a little a basket full of used magazines out front. Just take some and leave some. And I found this. And I've been wanting a copy of this. This is the Northern Virginia magazine from, when was this? April of this year when they did the Kane show. So I wanted to get a copy of this. Why did I want to get a copy of this? Why do I care about Kane? The reason I care about it, let me see here. Hot in the AM. A lot of their magazines up there have a slight mildew smell to them. I think because they're sitting out in the basket and they get wet when it rains. So there we got Kane. who has, that's not his real name, of course, but he gets mad. Mr. I won't say his name. Kane gets mad whenever I run his real name on the website. I've done it once or twice, and I'll immediately, within 10 minutes, get an email, take my name down. I value my privacy. I guess he's afraid, kids are going to drive up to his house if they know his real name. But anyhow, as you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, but it's hard to see, but there's DCRTV.com. We got a little write-up in here. When the author of this piece, the great Buzz McLean, he wanted to find out what Kane's ratings were, so of course he called me, and I gave him Kane. I said, oh, he's really good. Great ratings, according to Dave. He was a longtime local broadcast observer who tracks ratings on his website, DCRTV.com. And of course, the Kane profile has an ad there from Wash. Of course, they're the same company, Clear Channel. So, hey, we'll profile Kane on Hot 95 if you take out an ad for Wash, Whatever. But I'm glad I found this. So I at least got a hard copy of this. So that's cool. Anyhow, I was going through the stack of stuff there at DCRTV in my thing. I was cleaning out some stuff. Found some interesting stuff. Look at this. This is the Television Today complete programs for October 24th, 1968. You can see the local stations there. WRC, TTG, MAL TV, WTOP TV, WFAN, WDCA, and WETA. And it's kind of hard to see the shows there. But let's see what was on. This was Thursday. And this is just the afternoon listings. So on Channel 4, you had the match game. You had a 4:30 movie. The news was on from 6 to 7:30. Then you had Daniel Boone. Ironside at 8:30. Dragnet at 9:30. Dean Martin show at 10. News 4 at 11. And the Tonight Show at 11:30. Over there on Channel 5, you had Perry Mason, Mr. Ed, The Flintstones, I Love Lucy, My Favorite Martian, McHale's Navy, Truth or Consequences, Hazel. And then at 8:30 in the evening, you had the Donald O'Connor Show and the 10 o'clock news there at 10 o'clock. Man from U.N.C.L.E. at 11. Over on WMAL, you had Dark Shadows, The Mike Douglas Show. You had the Harry K. Smith News at 5:30. And then they ran, oh, that's interesting, they ran the Merv Griffin Show at 6. I didn't know. Back in the 60s, the Merv Griffin Show at 6 o'clock on Channel 7. Maybe they should do that today. Make get better ratings than their news does. Flying Nun, Bewitched, That Girl. Over on Channel 9, you had Gilligan's Island at 4 o'clock. Steve Allen Show at 4:30. The WTOP News with Julian Barber at 6 o'clock. Walter Cronkite at 6:30. More WTOP News at 7. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown at 7:30, then a movie, CBS movie. Over on WFAN, Channel 14, Teen Dance Party at 5 o'clock. It looks like that's when they signed on, because there's nothing on at 4 o'clock. And then Ski World, and then a bunch of local shows, NASA Film at 11, and then they went off the air. And then Channel 20, of course, they had the Wing Ding Dance Party with Jack Alix. That's interesting. Wing Ding Dance Party, Jack Alix. Well, surprisingly, just below that, I found this. Jack Alix actually sent me something just before he passed away a couple years ago. A cool vintage Washington and Richmond area DJ. This, I forget what year this came. This was a couple of years ago. He sent me a really nice package of stuff. I've got a CD of his air checks and stuff, but there's some stuff from Jack Alix. It's really cool stuff there. Look at that. Music Radio WSSC, Rock and Roll Roots, WXEE Radio in Welsh, West Virginia. Wow. And then, of course, he picks the area DJs pick top 10 records for the year, for, when was this? January 25th to 31, but doesn't say the year. But anyhow, it's back in the 60s, I'm sure. Look at the folks there. We got Jack Alix there on WEAL. Of course, the big old 1310 in Fairfax. Don Dillard on WDON 1540. Remember them? Bill Johnson on WUST. Bob King on WOOK. Carol James on WWDC, the old 1260. Felix Grant on WMAL. Cool stuff there. Walk right in. Oh, hey, Paula. Yeah, this has got to be, this is Steve Lawrence, Go Away Little Girl. This has got to be the early 60s, right? It's a little before my time. I wasn't listening to radio till probably about 67, 68. The Doors with Jack Alix. Look at that. That's Jim Morrison there with his hand to his mouth, right? Wow. This is the end. Doo-doo-doo. Cool stuff there. Jack Alix from the Richmond Times-Dispatch, contemporary hit radio, putting the sizzle back into CHR. Yeah. Some really cool stuff there. And there's a, oh, look at that. Jack Alix, station manager for WXGL in the Richmond area, and some picture there from old Richmond rocker WRXL XL102. I used to listen to WRXL a lot when I was in college. Killer Signal. You know, this is Harrisonburg, Virginia, about 100 and some miles from Richmond, and you can get XL102 really great. And of course, the Jack Alix Show on WEAM, PGC, Channel 20. Young adults, music, live salesmen, contests. The lively one. Yeah, he did. It was all over the place. There's Channel 20 back when it actually had something worth watching on it. So there we go for that. Okay, folks. We're hitting the closing in on the 12-minute mark today. So that's all I'm going to do today. But so there's some Jack Alix memories for you. Don't forget to I'll tell you, MAL. You need to do some stuff over there. You need to keep working on that morning show. They need to get a live and a local afternoon drive show, blah, blah, blah. You know, just the move to FM ain't going to be enough. But all right, folks, thanks for watching Dave TV for today. We're going to have a brand new name for Dave TV coming up in January. We're going to rebrand Dave TV to something amazingly magnificent, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. And what's my new tagline? Oh, yeah. So there!